Welcome back. 2018 NXL Texas Open here at the Texas Motor Speedway. We're about to jump into the semifinals of the professional division here on GoSports.com. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Ryan Greenspan, one of the paintball legends from San Diego Dynasty, one of the best players in the world. This game is brought to you by Empire Paintball and the Vanquish GT. Check out all the colorways there featuring the all-new V16 drivetrain with direct inject technology. Check it out on EmpirePaintball.com. So, Ryan, let's start with you. Impact, Red Legion, your thoughts on this matchup here in the semifinals?
Yeah, man, I just have to choose Red Legion just because of the whomping they just put on us.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, it was a rough one. Their shots were on off the break. You know, but Impact dealt with that against Damage too. They were losing 2 bodies off the break pretty consistently and still able to pull off that win. I mean, they lost the majority of the points that you're down, you're going to lose, especially if they're both the outside guys. But the Russians really played heavy up the center, and that was something that we didn't do as well.
Do you think that Red Legion's going to attack Impact like they attacked you?
They're really good about watching film. They have 6 people on their coaching staff that are really dissecting a lot of this stuff. We were very predictable. Impact, I think, is very similar, though. They're running out to that Dorito side. You have to run out to this can, and we lost Brandon Short and Arturo going to this can and even to this God Bunker laydown. So I do think that they're going to have those shots still on.
Well, that one's going to be interesting to watch, see how that break develops. Are they going to bring the same game plan that they defeated Dynasty with in that 6-0 victory? So, Todd, Houston Heat and AC Dallas, though, going to be playing this first point. Your thoughts on this matchup between these 2 high-ranked teams from Texas? Heat coming off that victory in France. AC hungry for a win. What do you think?
Man, this was a really tough one to pick. I was thinking about this on the way back over here. And I think AC Dallas, I think this is going to be a really close match, but I think AC Dallas is going to be able to pull it out at the end. But
well, Brad McCurley was getting nasty on that D side for them.
They're doing a really good job over there on the D side, but Houston Heat is really putting more pressure on the Snake side from the very beginning. So let's see if that combo of Ronnie Dizon and Chad George getting out over here quick is going to be able to be as successful as it was earlier in the event, or AC Dallas being a smart team, are they going to make an adjustment for that combo of Chad George and Ronnie Dizon?
Well, on the breakout here, AC Dallas on your left and Houston Heat on your right. First point of the semifinals. We're going to find out which teams will be playing in the final matchup this afternoon, and it looks like first to drop body is going to be Houston Heat. They lose Ronnie Dizon, who's been playing phenomenal for them on the Snake side of the field, one of the more aggressive players, but also talking about guys playing aggressive. Brad McCurley looks like he gets shot early, so it's now 4-on-4.
Yeah, you know, that was interesting because I played Brad McCurley's spot, and the big battle between him and Ronnie Dizon is that Ronnie will shoot this bounce shot. We talked about bounce shots, I'm sure, this entire weekend.
Oh, yeah, all weekend long.
I don't know who could have shot Ronnie, though, as Houston Heat lose another one. It looks like Sam Monville out of the back center.
Yep, Sam coming off here, and Sam been getting the start here, been doing well for Heat. Obviously, that's one of the reasons that they are this deep into the tournament. Looks like Chad George is messing with his gun right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like, yeah, he's up right now. And the move comes over there. Who's that for Heat right now?
Nico Hyde.
Nico Hyde is over there. Yeah, because Ryan Moorhead plays the other side. And it looks like they have, the AC Dallas guys are really trying to hold him out from that back center spot, back center bunker, or one of the 2 of those. You can see on your screen that is, I can't see, Jackson.
Yeah, the Jackson brothers and TJ Danner.
Yeah, right there holding Nico, but Nico made it past him, and that's, once you make it into that Dorito 2, it's a really easy free move into the Dorito 3.
And that's where he is right now.
Which is where he is right now.
So talk to me about how powerful that D3 is then, Ryan.
You know, honestly, it's the payoff doesn't happen until you get into the next one, to be honest, but you can see Hall is right there in that laydown, locking off that next move. When you're in that Dorito 3, you can surprise the can, you can shoot the Snake corner, you can shoot anybody up the center. The problem is those back center 2 spots, they're not really exposed to you. So the payoff actually comes from the Dorito 4, but it's harder to make that move because you see right here, this lane that he's holding off right here. Hall's watching that move across that open lane. But nothing stops you down the tape. There's no corner bunker on that Dorito side to stop your movement.
That's the power of the D side.
That's the power of that Dorito side. We had a really big struggle getting out there against Heat and against Russian Legion. The 2 teams really stopped a lot of our movement over there.
So Houston Heat on the offense, even though down 2 bodies, Todd.
Yeah, and Nico Hyde now sitting in that Dorito 3 is trying to wrap heavy on Matt Jackson, who's sitting in that Dorito side temple with Brad McCurley walking off. Matt Jackson is the widest body out there. He does have a good shot on those Doritos from that spot. He can put paint back in on Nico Hyde, but Nico Hyde with that good field position can play the inside, play the outside, and really kind of put pressure on whoever he wants.
Yeah, and the move right now comes from the Dorito 1 player for AC Dallas. Is that TJ Danner over there?
Yes.
Yeah. So the move comes from him to get on the tape and battle Nico heads up. There's no one stopping his movement at the moment. However, from playing that spot, it's hard to tell where their extra body is. You know, is he in the center somewhere actually locking it down? But right now it looks like Houston Heat has the can and the tall stand-up on the Snake side, and then the tall tower on the Dorito side, along with the Dorito 3.
Yeah, so Chad George, Sergey Sonifskov, and not Konstantin Fedorov, he's hurt. Nico Hyde, the attacker on the D side, so though down a body, still pushing forward into the guns of AC Dallas. But Todd, AC Dallas going with that, hey, we're up a body on you. You can have that position. We're going to eventually try to work you out other spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the push, they need to put pressure on Chad. When you put pressure on Chad, if you can get into the Snake, it forces Chad out of that spot, and we call it the pimple theory. You know, you put pressure, and it makes the other team on the other side of the field have to adjust and make moves on you.
The pimple theory, huh?
The pimple theory. You know, when you squeeze a pimple and it kind of pops out another spot.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but I pick up the metaphor. Yeah,
yeah, there you go. So, we call it Moorhead actually a lot too. Ryan Moorhead also gave us that name. If we lose a side and there's two of us on the other side of the field, we call Moorhead, and you have to run down that side, because that's what Ryan Moorhead was always famous for doing.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, we've now just stopped giving him credit. We just call it the pimple theory now.
I was like, man, you making fun of Ryan Moorhead's pimples?
No. And so you see this move right here into this Snake can. Nico Hyde and the Dorito 3 can't shoot that can unless he stands up tall looking down the inside of the field. But this is the move that needs to happen, is they need to put pressure right here on Chad. Here it comes. And then the move is into the Snake. Now,
Ryan Hall.
Yep. Ryan Hall is going to go all the way down there.
Yeah, to the 50-yard line here, and
he's going to wrap on Chad is the move to make. So right here. And looks like he got Chad. See,
nice shot by Ryan Hall.
And
so
now
the bodies getting whittled down right. Houston Heat, two bodies left alive for them versus 4 for AC Dallas in this real long first point, almost 5 minutes. I've gone off this regulation time.
And John Jackson now the field is completely flipped right here. This is where the pimple theory would come in. You need to put him in. And now Nico Hyde, all he had to do at this point was put some pressure on was it Matt in the back center? Yeah,
Matt Jackson, John Jackson had shaded over here towards the Snake side.
Right, so you needed to put pressure on him because he was the only one really holding you up from making a move into the Dorito 4. But that's where that pressure is, and because the gap is so big, if you dig into that thing, you can make it in there.
Yeah, I didn't see TJ Danner make that move into the Dorito 1. I'm blocked out from that can, but yeah, you're right. I mean, he can even still wrap around that Dorito and kind of push into him, right?
Yeah, you can push right into him. I've done that move a number of times.
Yeah, TJ was looking on the inside towards Chad George, right?
Yep. And even then, like, TJ can't see down the tape from the Dorito 1. You only if you're really tall. You have to worry about him making a quick move out to the tape and shooting you down the tape, but...
Well, the way those Doritos are staggered is that, in order to see down the tape, you have to get up the field.
Yeah,
you can't do it from D1, though D1 does have better shots towards the Snake side. On the breakout, looks like Edmonton Impact going to lose a body here, so Red Legion... Those off-the-break shots, Ryan, they're still dialed in.
Penalty for Impact.
Minor penalty as they're trying to pull Keith out. He hasn't come out. That's going to pull off Zach Yakimek, so just two bodies as Dalton starts attacking on that D side to try to do something over there, and he gets shot immediately. And
J-Rab, the last body here. They need to blow it. Yeah, you want to save your life,
Another dominant point here for the Russians. That is 7 unanswered points today for Russian Legion.
Yes. We almost had him on the 6th one.
So close.
So close.
So just talk to me real quick, Ryan. What was it feeling like out there against those guns off the break for the Russians? I mean, obviously it's tough to fight when you start at every single point down 1 or sometimes 2 bodies.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure from that center. We kind of anticipated them at least going one guy up the center, but they didn't go. We anticipated them playing this right 50 brick, the Snake side 50 brick, more than they did. They actually played the Dorito side 50 brick a lot more, and that's what put pressure on Brandon Shorts. Their idea was to shoot Brandon or Arturo, and just make us not be able to move on the Dorito side.
Like you said with the predictability,
there's so much
do you
pressure.
think that they felt like, okay, once we can isolate that, well, then we'll take the ground on the D side, stop that attack there, and then slowly shoot more bodies out of the spots.
And they ran big on that Dorito side almost every point.
Yeah, we're taking D3 off the break. So now getting to this next point here, Houston Heat. AC Dallas, though, losing Ryan Hall.
Yeah, Chad George called that kill right there on Ryan Hall. Heads up, pointed at him right after he shot him. Matt Jackson still going to make a move up the middle to that Snake side brick.
So
try and wrap around right away.
The problem with that snake side brick is you can't see the move into the snake. You just saw it right there, yeah, because of the pin. You need to back off of it a little bit.
Here comes Sergey, is going to try to get up there and get a shot on Jackson. Jackson's about to get his back pepper by Chad George. Free kill for Chad George, though it looks like Matt did get a shot on Sergey.
Yeah.
So it is 4 bodies on 3 right now. Actually, no, just 2 players left alive for AC Dallas. And here comes Chad George, 50-yard line. Now we're looking at AC Dallas on your screen. John Jackson trying to do some sort of damage control, but looking at 4 bodies. They do have that 1 point on the board, but it's looking like Heat probably should be able to close this one out. We will see.
Yeah, and that was a mistake on Matt's part when he looked snake way when he got in there. He got really greedy by trying to wrap around right away and put pressure on on Sergey in the center and gave himself up. But when he saw Chad George get into that snake, and there goes, uh-oh. Looks like Brad McCurley's limping off the field right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible news. Yeah, he's...
Yeah, he's...
Where is he? I'm blocked out right
He's
now.
Directly behind the Dorito 2. There he is right now. He's coming to view right now. Yeah, he's kind of holding... It looks like an ankle, maybe. Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to go get him.
Yeah, somebody needs to help him out. His ankle does not look like it's supposed to be bent that way.
Yes. Someone needs to go out there and help him off the field. I mean, the refs aren't even helping him off the field right now.
Yeah, good job, ref.
Yeah, how come the refs aren't helping Brad off the field? Come on, refs. There we go.
Somebody go get your guy.
Even if you don't want to show favoritism, you got to help. Yeah.
Yeah, if guy's injured, man, help the out the field.
Uh-oh. Well, you never want to see that. And the playing conditions here right now are not favorable. It's really, really sticky and really dangerous out there. They tried to put mulch on the field.
How was it with the mulch?
It was not very comfortable. It was kind of like playing on Huntington Beach with the sand back in the day, except a lot harder. There's a little bit of give, and so what it does is it builds up in front of you, makes like a little bit like a wall every time you dive into it. So you really, really stick, and any kind of lateral slide, it's painful on your groin and your hip.
Let's look at this replay here from Brad. So on the D side of the field. So here comes Brad on the run through.
Yeah, he might.
Actually, no. I think he might have just twisted his ankle when he went in there. And there it is from a different angle. So he gets in there.
He's good right here. I think it's when he caught him right in here. He tried to push off, and then it got stuck underneath him.
Yeah, it looks like he just twisted his ankle, which is good because he had the knee problem.
Yeah,
so if it's an ankle, that's actually better news than another,
another long-term knee injury.
Yeah.
So
Houston Heat getting that point. It's now tied up at 1.
Oh, Smotrov looks like he took one on the break, but it bounced. He's still alive in there. Unfortunate break for impact, but they do shoot Kirill going up that Dorito side, but Karslev once again into Dorito 2 on the break and dealing.
And so is that JC over there, or is that Dalton on Dorito 2 over there? So
it's like Dalton.
Yeah. It looks like Russians lose 2 bodies right here.
Smotrov's coming off, and I think that new kid Vladimir is coming off from the D side, but Karslev's still alive at D2.
No, so
still alive.
It was the Russian player running up the center that got shot. Kirill running up the center, and then the God in Snake insert player here for the Russian.
Yeah. So, but Karslev's still alive in D2. Malloy's still alive in the stand-up can here on the Snake side. And then here comes Impact trying to get that first point back. Malloy is going to launch into Snake, or into the Snake insert. And it looks like, I think Zach just got caught, and he did.
Wow, that was
from Golev.
That was a huge pickup on Golev on the Dorito 2. Saw Zach slide in, and from that Dorito 2, there are shots on the Snake. The Dorito side in general, it's hard to shoot the Snake side.
Well, that must have been Karslev then from the D2.
Yeah, it was the D2, sorry.
Yeah, so the Karslev.
So, but you can stand up and drop it in, and what happened was, what was that? Zach Yakmak, I think, slid into Snake 1, and he just took a quick peek on the inside and caught one right when he popped his head up. And it's uncharacteristic to go into Snake 1 and kind of look inside. Most players want to get down the tape as quickly as possible. But look at that. Malloy shooting a player, Rainey Stanzak out of the back center.
It's just hammering that bounce shot. We watched him do it every single point over here. He comes in, gets out wide, hits that bounce shot. Karslev gets shot out of the Dorito too, but Malloy is now in the 50 Snake.
Yeah,
looks like a 2-on-1 situation, 2-on-2 situation. Golev and Britnikoff alive. Here, Golev's still at that stand-up tower. Britnikoff at the 50 Snake here, looking at 2 bodies.
And you can see Dalton Vanderbilt on your screen right there, trying to figure out a way to put some pressure on the Snake cut. Can't quite see him.
And looking in front of him, trying to see, hey, did Golev switch over a bunker while I was focused on Malloy. Malloy now all the way down onto impact side of the field. Looks like Dalton is going to attack past the 50-yard line here on the D side. He shoots out Golev, and no one is looking at, and he finally gets caught. He has to pause and be wary of Malloy's gun, who is now protecting that buzzer, but he's got to keep his head on a swivel because here comes Impact pushing down try to get behind Malloy, and they're going to be able to do it. So
Dalton
nice.
Vanderbilt really saving that point. Now, Golev needed to be a little bit more heads up as to what was going on. If you see your player playing in the other team's Snake 2 or Snake 3, you need to understand that there's no pressure on the Snake side from him. Therefore, he needs to play a little wider and open the field up. What happened was Golev was too focused on Dalton and got in that heads-up gun battle, but he saw Malloy putting pressure and penetrating the Snake side. And what happened was Golev should have just stepped back from this spot and really opened that field and played how they were playing. You know, there were two guys, both on impact on that Dorito side, and he just needed to play him a little.
J-Rab wasn't going to shoot him on the inside of that tall tower. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly down the sideline.
Hey guys, by the look of things right now, Brad McCurley will most likely not be returning to this match for AC Dallas. He is grunting on the sidelines here and getting looked at by medics. He's also extremely frustrated because he just went through rehabilitation and just came back fully healed from his injury, but it looks like he's probably going to be out.
That is terrible news for Brad McCurley as he comes off the field. Ryan Hall coming off early here, attacking that center of the field here for AC Dallas. These two teams locked up at 1 though with 8 minutes and 13 seconds to go. Sergey looking to try to move up in the center for Houston Heat.
And AC Dallas losing that player running up that 50 brick on the Dorito side. And here goes Sergey all the way across and into this 50 brick on the Snake side, which has a great shot on the Dorito 1. For this play to work, however, we kind of figured it out, is you need to be battling heads up down the Dorito side in order to let him play inside, right? You need to put pressure on him, otherwise he can kind of wrap around that tape.
So you can see Sergey there on your screen at the 50 brick. Going back and forth with his gun. He does have to be wary of the bounce shot there off that pin, but he's tucked in a little bit. But when he comes towards the Snake side, then that's when he needs to worry about that particular bounce shot there off the pin on the left-hand side. And a couple of guys died from that already this weekend.
And something that Heat was doing to us a lot when we played them yesterday is Chad George or Ronnie Dizon in this Snake side insert bunker, the God bunker, really shot a lot of shots on that bounce shot heads up, or sorry, on the inside into that Dorito 1, which is something that Chad's not doing right now, which will definitely kill. That's a really killable spot. You know, I mean, you almost can't even play inside whatsoever. You're stuck, forced looking at the tape. But Sergey's on him right now anyway. You can see that shot, the angle. He's looking at Dorito 1 right now.
Chad George gets into the insert bunker here on the Snake side. There on your screen, you can see Chad George also looking at that big lane. Same that Sergey's looking at, but Sergey has a better angle on it. And then it looks like losing a gunfight is going to be Brandon Rabikoff. So Brandon Rabikoff coming over as he ends up taking the position as Brad McCurley is injured. Sergey now wrapping around. This is when he needs to be wary of that blind shot. Sergey now going to check, so he checks up on that side.
Ooh, but Chad George getting shot out.
Chad George had just switched to look like he was going to make a move and just caught one right on top of the head. I'm not sure who dropped it in on him. Matt Jackson getting shot off that Dorito side for AC. Just 2 bodies left alive on TJ Danner and John Jackson. Looking at 4 bodies. Ronnie Dizon wrapping the outside of the Snake insert. There goes John Jackson and TJ Danner walking off as Houston Heat getting to their spots, staying alive, pounding a ton of paint.
Yeah, speaking of staying alive, man, that back center, John Jackson, needs to not die out of that. That's a crucial spot that you just, because the problem is from the back center, you have very little visibility on the Snake side. So you just can't get shot by that guy wrapping around.
So unfortunately, Brad McCurley, the top killer here at this event, with another injury on that knee. So 40 confirmed kills for him, putting up a ton of kills, aggressively pushing up on that D side, just tweaked it, looking, hopefully it's not as bad as it was before. Dan Zaleski, 34 for him. TJ Danner still in the field for AC Dallas, 31, ranked 3rd. Jumping back into this tie game between Impact and Red Legion with 12 minutes and 9 seconds. And here comes Smotroff running and gunning to the insert bunker here on the Snake side, but he gets taken out. First to strike is Impact, but Impact loses 2 bodies out of that center of the field. Looks like Keith Brown's about to get shot too.
Keith Brown,
referee's going to get in there and check him out. He
just got
bounced?
shot.
Yeah, he's going to come off. So just 2 players left alive. A disastrous start of this point here, Todd, for Impact.
Yeah, Moscow Red Legion continuing to dominate on the break and then making good, smart secondary moves as Golev comes up here to that Snake 50 brick. Looks like just Dalton alive in the Dorito Tower for Impact, and I believe Zach Yakimek alive in that back center snake side. Karsliv comes into Dorito 4 now. Comes to Dorito 5. He's going to wrap around as Zach Yakimek tries to make a desperation move, but Impact goes ahead and concedes the point as Russian Legion still had 4 players. They lost Smotrov on the break, but everybody else still alive as they diced up pretty much 3 bodies on the break of Edmonton Impact.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
exactly how that
that's
feels.
exactly what it looked like. Well, I'll tell you what, if the Russians can take down Impact, they immediately become the favorite, and we get a look at Brad McCurley here in the pits as he's getting checked out by the medic.
Are they looking at his knee or his ankle?
That looks like, again, we have glare here. That looks like
Yeah,
a
it
knee.
looks like a knee problem.
That's the worst case scenario for Brad. Is that the same knee? Todd, do you remember which knee it was? I think it was his right knee.
Ooh,
I can't remember. I'm not
not
positive. So 6 minutes and 4 seconds left to go. Heat up by 1, but it looks like
Someone looks like they took a hit. Either
Sam
Ronnie Dizon. No, it's Ronnie Dizon and
Sam Bonville's in the back Aztec,
Yeah.
and he has that hit on his pack, and the
Oh, yeah.
referee's going to come in there and
Yeah.
call that
Sorry.
minor. So on the break, minor penalty here assessed. And is that going to be another minor? Well, they're bringing out 1 body, and then now Sam's arguing, saying, "Are you pulling 2 bodies for a minor?"
You just pulled 2 people.
Did they really just pull 2 bodies on a minor?
No, they threw. I think they threw another one. Sam might have been talking, but I think that Ronnie might have gotten shot also.
Well, Brandon Rabikoff is going to come down and completely fall asleep on Chad George. And
that's a major
going to
right
be a
there.
major penalty. What was Brandon Rabikoff thinking? And he gets shot into the ground, falls over, and he just came off that appendectomy surgery, but they're going to pull out TJ Danner, and I think that's going to leave Ryan Hall as the only player left alive for either team in this really chaotic point. There was a penalty on Sam, then another flag was thrown, another body came off. We're trying to see if they pulled 2 bodies on a minor over here, and then Brandon Rabikoff comes stumbling through, headshots, can't remember who it was in this insert
Dizon.
bunker, Dizon, and then completely falls asleep on Chad George, who shoots him into the ground, and as he spins like a top.
you know, that's a really confusing. Well, not confusing. It's just it's a really weird loophole in the reffing system or the rule system where he still spun around and shot. Okay, so let's watch these guys off the break.
Yeah,
see who
and he
gets-
almost got a bad start. So there goes Dizon. He's going to get into the insert. And then here come the referees coming over, and they're going to pull out Monville. And they pull out Sergey.
Oh,
and then
they did throw 2 on accident.
Yeah, and then so I think they pulled out that extra body. But here comes Rabikoff falling asleep on Chad George. He runs right into the gun. And what are you
goggled him.
Brandon Rabikoff, what are you doing?
So here's the
Oh, and he
silly
falls
thing.
down.
They needed to wipe Chad George off. I know it's kind of a one thing or the other, but when it's that blatant of a situation, you need to wipe Chad George off because it's like you can
Because
just
for
do
the
that.
purity of the game, it's unfortunate because of that, in that situation.
Well, that and people can bend the rules. If you're the last guy and you know that this dude just shot you and
That's
has
my
a
point.
possibility of winning,
Totally
you could just
agree.
turn around and shoot him and be like, "Oh, pull my other 2 guys." I got bodies."
This argument has come up multiple
Yeah.
times just in this tournament alone. I definitely agree, but that's how the rule is written. So on the breakout, Red Legion continuing to push aggressively forward, even up. So Red Legion is attacking, even though, and they're losing bodies here. There's bodies flying all over the place. The referee's coming in there checking it out. 2 bodies are coming off for Impact, but Red Legion
And
with
Keith
4
Brown was
bodies alive.
shot.
Yeah.
Keith Brown was shot going into that spot. Asked for a check.
So it looks like it's
now
a
you're gonna go
4-on-1 right now. Rainey Stanzak is the last body in the
my
center.
God.
Yeah, we knew this field could get chaotic, and we're seeing it right here as there's tons of bodies. Well, that's the 2nd time in a row that Keith has got shot out and stayed in the bunker and waited for the referee to get in there and pull him
Well,
out.
not only that, but he's playing.
He didn't get a penalty.
He got a penalty the very first point, running out to the corner, which was deserved because it was a little pack hit, but he was playing and they were calling him out. But that one right there, got clipped running.
I
in
mean,
there.
you saw him get shot diving into that
Yes.
spot.
Yes, I saw it from up here and we're far away. But yeah, look, the Russians are still pressing, and that's the thing. And I think that's where other teams get in a rut is they say
the same thing.
They
Go
say,
for it, Ryan.
we're winning points. Let's come back here and play this quick clock run game. Like let's
Burn
let's
the clock off. Let's play conservative.
Yeah,
And they decided to go complete opposite.
I like that. I love that, and I man,
I'm
run
guessing
it,
there's a little
run
frustration
it.
because
Yeah,
you
it's
said the same
frustration.
thing.
Yeah.
You were telling me you were saying the same thing to the team. So here we go. AC Dallas tied up with Houston Heat here 2-2 with under 5 minutes to go. 5-on-5 breakout, clean break for both squads.
Yeah, it looks like up the center. Ooh, nope. Looks like who's that? Ryan Hall up the center right now for AC Dallas. Now that temple right there looking to the Dorito side, there's not really a shot. You kind of have to get out of there, but I think that was the move, is you kind of wanted to go down that inside. to get across here. But you definitely want to be in the center because it forces the Heat guys to either play conservatively on the outsides because you have no clue where the guy is if he's looking your way, and it also it'll send a Heat player up that center. Now he might have just caught one from Chad, or is that Ronnie Dizon?
Yep.
Yeah. Ronnie Dizon shooting across the field as the bounce shot did catch him, yes.
So Ryan Hall coming off here as the attacker up the center of the field for AC Dallas. Advantage goes to Houston Heat with 4 minutes left in this match. They have a one-body advantage. See if they can do something with it.
Yeah. And Ryan Hall should have seen that. He should have noticed that before he filled across into that other wedge.
But Sergey squanders the opportunity here. He comes up, gets his head peeled off, trying to get to the Aztec in the center. It's 4-on-4 now.
And what really hurts about losing Brad McCurley is now guys have switched all over the field. Ryan Hall, who was the #1 snake guy, we saw him run up to the Dorito side brick. Now he came through the middle. Guys having to play spots that they haven't played and having to move bodies around here. AC Dallas right now trying to figure it out. It is a 2-2 game. It's 3.5 on the clock, so this is a very important point. It's 4-4 or 4-on-4 right now.
Yeah, and I think the move to win or to kind of get up the field is to get into the snake one, and that move can happen on the snake side.
You want Rabikov to get in the snake one right now for AC Dallas?
Yeah.
Or Dizon?
Yeah. No, I want. Yeah, either one of them I think is the move. Dizon right now is trying to lock down that Dorito side, and he's doing it too much. What he's doing right now, if you can see, you can't really see it on the screen very well, but he's shooting the center can. On the other teams, on the AC Dallas side of the field, and what that does is it bounces directly across into the Dorito one, and so he's just sitting on that shot shooting it, and that's actually how he shot Ryan Hall moving across that open zone, as he was just shooting. That's because that's what they do. But if Rabikov can put in Chad George, which he's done a couple times, and just slip into the snake, they have John Jackson in that back center tower holding Ronnie Dizon in.
Well, now Ronnie has shifted his gun over towards the snake side. It looks like he wants to wrap around and try to put a body in. Actually, he's going to get that kill on John Jackson, and then gets it reestablished on that D side, though.
That was another bounce shot.
Ryan. You know, you got to live in that back spot. The thing I was just about to say is that Houston Heat, having two bodies out here and not in that back center, they're able to play that snake side can and shoot that bounce shot right into John.
Real quickly, Ronnie Dizon is going to get up here. He's going to wrap. What he should do quickly is look inside, but he'll probably shoot. Oh, now TJ.
He's going to get across, though. Ronnie's all the way onto their side of the field. They got to watch over him as Rabikov very close to him. He has the gun up, protecting himself. Here comes Brandon. Brandon's going to try to come out and win the snapshot battle. He's on left-handed, but he is out already on Brandon. And Chad George is just pumping paint over the top of Rabikov's head to try to keep him honest, and then he's going to come out, and then he's going to get his loader peeled off by Ronnie Dizon. Beautiful work by Ronnie Dizon. Houston Heat trying to blow this point open, and they're going to be forced to concede the points. And Ronnie Dizon continuing to play aggressive here after a little beat of shooting bodies in front of him and getting that paint on that D side of the field. He did exactly what you wanted him to do there, Ryan.
Yeah, and I mean that was a rookie mistake by Brandon Rabikov. He got worried that Dizon had penetration. He didn't trust in his teammates to watch over him. If you look from here, you can see that big gap.
So let's check in again with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, Impact is trying to figure out what bunkers they can get to off the break to keep all 5 bodies alive. Justin Rabikov said if they can keep 5 alive off the break, start the communication, they'll be able to reset this game.
Yeah, and that sounds exactly like what our game plan was. You know, it's a little chaotic, and it's because you can't figure it out. Like, what 5 spots can we make it to? You think you can make it to these
go
spots.
Forward, because that's what the Russians are going to do. This time they spread it out wide, though, and they do go forward with Rainey Stanzik. They're trading bodies, though, but it looks like Mouse is coming off.
Yeah, the whole snake side for Impact just came off the field. Oh, and the third body, is that Jay? There's a penalty. Penalty's coming for Impact right there.
Minor penalty. The wheels are falling off the wagon here for Edmonton Impact. Disastrous point after disastrous point, and that's going to be the 4th point for Moscow Red Legion with a big lead. But we saw this, and we've seen this a couple times this year. Impact goes down, and then they start the attack, and somehow, some way, they find a way to win.
Yeah. I think the difference out here that you can see between the 2 teams the 4 teams that are playing right now is that Houston Heat and Red Legion, they're not sitting in that back tall tower on the snake side. They did that last point just a little bit, but usually that back center guy has been standing there just shooting people right from the middle of the flag station. But the thing is that Houston Heat and Red Legion are both running out to the snake side, to the can and to the snake insert bunker heads up. And Bjernikov, I believe, is the one that's been shooting the guy that's been running out wide on the snake side for Impact, right? And then as soon as he owns that can or that corner, he just shoots the bounce shot right into that tower, and there's nowhere for Rainey to live. So there's the first guy getting shot. Rainey gets shot on the way up to that big brick. And then Zach Yakimek right here. Ball's just bouncing directly in on because Bierdnikov's in that corner shooting the bounce shot, and then the referee runs in. And it's a flag party over on that Dorito side. And I think, did they even call that minor penalty on Zach?
Yeah, it was for his loader hit, yeah.
Yeah, so Red Legion right now dominating Edmonton Impact, but we will see if they can come back. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us here on GoSports.com. Sitting up here with Ty Martinez and Ryan Greenspan. So we got about 30 seconds. Ryan, obviously, you've been traveling all over the world. You're teaching clinics, playing all these different leagues. There's a good picture there, you guys.
Winning down in Sydney right there.
So break it down for me, man. I mean, what's been up? Where are you guys going next? I know
next, the coolest thing that we have up next is the BKI Summer Camp, July 25th to the 29th. That's going to be awesome. It's 4 days of paintball with, there's going to be 9 of us kind of rotating through and doing all-inclusive camp, like paints included, foods included, room and board. Like, it's going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to that this summer.
So here we go on the breakout. Houston Heat has a 1-point lead on AC Dallas. They send Ryan Hall all the way around, and a kill coming off on that Dorito side of the field. It's Nico Hyde for Houston Heat. Early advantage goes to AC Dallas, but AC Dallas looks like they lose their first attacker. Actually, 2 bodies is both Danner and I think, who is that? Another body coming off for AC Dallas on that D side of the field. So just 3 players left alive for AC Dallas. They still have Ryan Hall, though, at the 50 brick.
Yeah, that's Matt Jackson coming off that Dorito side. Nice move by Ryan Hall on the break. Good call by Greg Bally to run all the way to that brick, instantly wrap around to shoot Nico Hyde in the back, but John Jackson getting picked off out of the back line. So just Brandon Rabikoff and Ryan Hall right now.
And Chad George just barely missed Brandon Rabikoff's foot, but shoots him there in the wrist right away. Brandon needed to get up into that 50. That move that Ryan Hall did, that was my move. I played that move out. I've written it down. I've drawn it out. I've ran it a bunch. I was like, if he had just continued after he shot the Dorito side tower and went into that pin, he could have gone to the backside where I believe Malloy or one of the Russians guys did to us, bunkering Alex. So
let's go down to Lauren Kelly.
Impact is still trying to figure out an answer for Moscow Red Legion right now. Bart Yakimek, one of the coaches, said that Moscow Red Legion is just running and gunning, and they're doing a great job. He said they're either going to need to match their aggression and give it right back to them, or Justin Cornell said that he thinks everyone's scared to run the delay, but that might be the answer here for them that will help them get them back in this game. They have more than 10.5 minutes, so they're confident that if they figure out how to match the aggression Moscow Red Legion is bringing, they can bring this back.
Well, it's been tough as Red Legion has only allowed 1 point to be scored on them in both the quarterfinals and the semifinals so far, playing Dynasty and playing Edmonton Impact. So looking like the favorite here. It's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's a tough thing to do because you only have so much time to try to figure out why your perfect game plan thus far is just disastrous. But more pressure up the center. We kind of figured out a couple little things that started to work, but I like that outside run all the way out to the Dorito corner tape and send a guy up and underneath him. You're risking bodies as it is, but that was the last game plan we did, which was the most successful.
Yeah.
Not like that's the overall fix, but I mean, these guys are even kind of slow to get out there. The delay is definitely a good option because you can have your gun up. But, man, these guys are all making their spots, and their shots are on point.
Kind of makes you wonder now what the argument was between Dave Baines and JC. If JC was like, let's press it more, and Dave might have been no. Or Dave was like, let's press it, and JC was like, no.
Yeah, I don't know which one was which. I think it was JC, let's press it, at least from what I remember Lauren saying. But off the break, look at this. They sent Smotroff to the 50 snake off the break, so continuing to push forward. Well, the aggressive new line here for Red Legion.
And even crazier on that move was he kind of ran in there shooting heads up and did a delay into that 50, kind of like right exactly when Keith released from that snake side to get to the corner. He released into that 50. So awesome playing by those guys, these Russians.
Leonid Smotrov, one of those young stars, considered the most talented of those young players, but one of the most inconsistent of the young players. But he's been playing amazing today for them, and that's what they needed. Karslev also launches on the D side.
Golev sitting there locking off that Dorito side, putting pain in on that penalty. Dorito one. Justin Cornell gonna get pulled and get a penalty. J-Rab gonna get pulled on the penalty. So just Zach Yakimek over here with Keith Brown behind him.
And Nick Laval's up in the center, but he's in a terrible spot. So, yeah, it looks like Russians just, and they're not predictable. They're running everywhere, which is something that was frustrating for us because we know that they're going. But look at this. Let's look at this delay right here.
So they're just there's Smotrop right there on your screen. He comes up running and gunning. That's been kind of what he's been doing. So there goes. He cuts from the pin and then goes right to the 50 snake.
And the crazy thing about it, they're so confident in their moves, but there was nobody even putting pressure into the back center tower. It wasn't even like Britnikov was in there shooting the shooters. They were just, I'm going to do it, and it's been working because they're not going to guess this.
The Russians starting to get that cocky, confident swagger in their looks on the field.
Right, and like we talked about it before, the best game plan isn't to hold out when you're up on points all the time.
Especially on this layout, because we keep seeing that minor penalty assessed on AC Dallas as they're trying to push up in the center of the field to get these 2 points back with just 35 seconds. And here goes, that's going to pull out. Looks like Rabakov and John Jackson's in the back corner bunker probably being like, well, we fought through this one, but it didn't work out for us, as they're looking at a sea of his teammates walking off.
But Ryan Hall is in Heat's side center tower, but here comes on your screen, you're going to see
Sergey runs through, assassinates him. John Jackson still on the run through, able to make Sergey pay the toll, but then he gets taken out, and there's still 4 bodies left alive for Houston Heat as time is going to tick off this clock, and Heat's going to take this game 4-2.
Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be a Houston Heat and Russian Legion final unless Impact can do some magic here. But again, the amount of time that they have in between points, it's really hard to come back and figure out what you're doing wrong. I believe they've already used their timeout also. But in my opinion, the timeout's not even going to be able to help it. You need a full game break to kind of come back and say, look.
Good meeting?
Yeah,
old team meeting?
I mean, Todd, like when we're practicing, you need to be like, look, we're going to take a break right now for 6 points. Let another 2 teams play. We're going to figure out how we just got beat or how, what's happening, and then we're going to go out there and reassess what's going on, and then we'll be able to beat you. But right now, with the amount of time, the coaching staff, it's going to be really hard unless they push. The only really thing they can do is push heavy up the center.
Yeah, so as we are now going to look like Houston Heat heading on to the finals, we'll see who's going to win this Red Legion match. Probably going to be Ryan. But, hey, Ryan, how was the surfing trip?
Yeah,
that was dope.
This was one of the coolest adventures. I do a lot of stuff. I check things off my bucket list as much as I can. And in between the Sydney event, I played with Expendables, and I taught a clinic in Indonesia. I went on this surf trip, which is more than a bucket list trip. It was something else. And this was one of the coolest events or activities I've ever done. It was incredible. I recommend everybody check this video out. It's on my YouTube channel. Perfect waves, and it's just kind of a crossover thing,
Just getting barreled constantly out there?
Yeah, I've never surfed waves like this before in my life, but this is something that I was incredibly excited to do, and I'm stoked that Paintball was able to bring me here, really.
Bro, some of those pictures, those surfing pictures, were so gnarly.
Yeah.
With the video where you can see the reef underneath.
Yeah.
That looks scary. Yeah, catch me out there.
Oh, Impact losing 4 bodies off the break and getting a
minor penalties here. It looks like they all throw the same penalty as Goldman got perfectly cyclopsed, and Red Legion has just been unstoppable here today, looking like the favorite. I don't know, though. Houston Heat dominated AC Dallas pretty solid in those close points. It wasn't quite the blowout score that we're seeing here in this one, as Red Legion is now just waiting for Impact to concede the point. I mean, that was so quick that Impact didn't even concede the point. They need every second on this. Still, 9 minutes left here in this one? 8 minutes?
Yeah.
A ton of time left, though, but 6-1 is the score. 9:08 on the clock.
Yeah,
and it's 6-1.
And Maddie, you brought up a good point. There is tons of time, and maybe they should leave. They should blow the horn, but they don't necessarily need to. Look, I want to let everybody know. I want to really emphasize this. Look, if the Legion team can score 7 unanswered points, or 6 rather unanswered points, then there's nothing to say that Impact can't go on a run right now in 9 minutes. Now, it is highly improbable. However, it is something that can happen, and you just can't count yourself out. We've all seen big comebacks.
Yeah, you guys have had one. We've seen them out here already. We've seen them this year, and Impact's been the team to do it. I mean, they're kind of the team we use as the example right now, saying, hey, if Impact can come back in some of these matches, but those comebacks were 4-1, 2-5, that sort of situation. This is the biggest ask that they've had to question themselves and their ability here to get that comeback. But that is a good point, though.
Right.
There's 9 minutes left, so we will see. Let's check in with Lauren.
Hey guys, I'm here with Nico. Hi, congratulations. Houston Heat is moving on to the finals. You said it in the pits. One more game till that first place trophy. Now, you are kind of a rookie for Heat this year. You're one of the younger players. They have so many experienced teams, but you're a weapon for them on that, especially on this layout this weekend. But talk to me about what it's been like training with the Heat camp.
Well, honestly, it's just been so nice to have some people that believe in me. They've just accepted me right in, and it's great. They really put a lot of faith in me, and because of that, I believe in them, and we play like a team, and it shows.
Well, you were playing solid out there. I will talk to you more, but let's finish up this match. Back to you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations to Houston Heat punching their ticket to the finals. Nico's been playing awesome on that D side of the field. He's the big weapon for them as the attacker, first attacker, the one. So can Impact summon some more of that come from behind magic here? They're going to need every ounce of the paintball god's goodwill because Red Legion is just so dominant here today.
And look at that, the Red Legion sending 2 bodies up that center. Looks like one body, JC, dying out of the Dorito side.
Will they get Kirill Peridny to the 50 brick and also send Golev up to the wedge? And yeah, JC walking off early here, so just 4 players left alive now for Impact, and they are definitely not running down the field into these guns. They're playing from their spots and playing on their heels, which has been exactly what we've seen out of Impact this entire game.
And is that Zach Yakmak in the?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so this is a predicament that Brandon Short found himself in quite a bit, where the 50 brick is shooting on his inside. You can see right here on your screen, you can see that 50 brick. It was Kirill locking off the inside of that can. And then you have Malloy here in the can looking heads up. So it makes a really, really tight spot.
Well, it looks like Kirill getting taken out, though, maybe on a bounce shot coming out of that 50 brick. And that is going to keep, well, Golev's still up there.
Yeah, and if they drop this point, this is where the momentum swing could happen. And, obviously you want to stay as positive as possible when you're on the Impact camp. Still 4 bodies alive, but Zach Yakmak really playing incredibly tight right now. Pressure. That pressure from the inside of the field is gone now, but if he can recognize that, he'll be able to play a little bit more.
Looks like Dalton launches over there on the D side. Golev's going to do a tactical retreat to do a little bit more
damage
defensive
control.
Position. Yeah, damage control, trying to keep Dalton and slow him down, take more time off this clock. So still just Kirill Peridny, who has come off for Red Legion. Malloy is going to try to get out wide here on the snake side behind Smotroff. He makes it in clean. Now Yakimek finally gets out of that can and into the insert bunker here. Snake side himself to mirror up with Smotroff. Smotroff ripping his gun towards that D side. Here comes Golev, tries to get closer to Dalton. And Dalton looking right at Golev, too, as Smotroff glides into Snake 2 and gets right to the 50.
And Dalton Vanderbilt trying to get a shot on Golev there in that 50 brick on the Dorito side. Smotroff here in the Snake 50, going to try to get a shot right there on Justin Rabikoff. Misses there. So still a 4-on-4. Rainey Stanzak in a really tough, tight position as well. Needs to get out to the Snake corner behind Zach Yakmak, who's going to make it into the Snake right here. That's a great move.
And Rainey right behind him.
And then Rainey needs to get to this corner to be able to put pressure.
Karslev gets into D2. And looks like...
Ooh, Dalton wins that gunfight.
And then Dalton's going to creep on the inside, but not before Karslev runs him down. So Karslev's going to run down Dalton. They're going to trade out. Smotroff gets a shot on Zach. And Malloy, I think, died early.
No,
Malloy's in back corner bunker. Yeah, back corner bunker, snake side. We have a one-on-one. Rainey and Malloy.
No, it's a 2-on-1. Impact is there. J-Rab is up the center.
So J-Rab's going to shoot out Malloy, his former teammate. He's going to run in and hit that buzzer. So Impact puts another one on the board to make this one a little more interesting. But that was a longer point than we have seen out here. They still have time to work with. It is now a 4-point spread.
Massive point by Dalton Vanderbilt, really putting in work over on that side. Shooting out the guys in front of him and really making moves to win the game, and trade it out.
Karslev launched as Dalton launched. They both shot each other, but it was good heads-up play as the 2 on that D side, as Rabikoff was able to stay alive in that chaos.
Yeah, that was a huge play over there. That really breaks it down because it brought Golev off of the snake side brick and had forced him over there, which freed up Zach to be able to move out of this can and then into the God and then into the snake side where he was able to trade out with Smotroff.
Well, it was good to see, though, Todd, is Impact was making those forward moves. After the initial break, it was 4-on-4, but they were pushing the issue. And then some counterattacks also by the Russians, but keeping those 2 bodies alive looks like Rabikov was able to get the shot on Malloy in the back corner bunker.
Yeah, big point right there for Impact, just to stay alive on the break. I mean, we watched 3 points in a row. It was just flags flying in the air, bodies dropping off left and right. And, finally able to, like Ryan said, that could be the momentum swing that they needed. All they got to get is one to go on a run. But, I mean, just to take the pressure off.
One to make the bleeding stop, because it was like the arterial bleeding was just spraying all over the place. And they're like, I need the big advantage we got. Finally able to stop the bleeding and then start an attack of their own. So able to live through that break. Can they do it again is the question. Or maybe are they making the right adjustments?
Well, the other thing is, it's not game point anymore. So
Right.
they have some wiggle room, and I don't want to call it wiggle room like we can afford to lose another point.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're so far backed up against on their heels. So like that momentum swing can happen now because now it's they're only 4 points behind, and they're very capable of scoring 4 points. You've seen it from Impact a lot. They got to stay out of the penalty trouble though. That was something that really really hurts them. If you lose 2 guys off the break and one of them also gets a penalty, but the Russians it's late to get on the field right now somehow. Maybe not remembering they had a 2-minute break, but that's always throws you off a tiny bit.
Well, they made it out there in time. Cars left with a huge bite off the break going into D2, but here comes Justin Cornell running and gunning. Was he able to get a shot on him?
I think the ref might be checking him. No.
Yeah, so Karslev tries to take a big bite into D3, and he ends up getting shot out. Looks like Smotrov's going to get shot as well. One body does drop, and another minor penalty here assessed on Impact. You can see the frustration starting to set in as Dalton walks off, getting that minor penalty, taking out Rabikov. But here comes...
It's a 3-on-3 game right now.
Here comes Rainey Stanzik, though. It is 3-on-3, and Cornell and Rainey are up here in good positions, and Golev is, I don't think he has any idea that Rainey is in there, and he doesn't. He's going to get stitched. So that's going to be another point here for Impact, as nothing that Malloy could do trying to reposition. So Impact starting to put points on the board here, and now it's a 3-point game.
And Rainey Stanzak just went and chirped something right at Golev.
Oh, wow.
Right in his face. You know, I've seen refs throw penalties for stuff like that before.
Which is
Crazy.
ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous,
it's ridiculous.
you know?
I guess it depends on how
what's going on in the game?
Yeah.
What day it is?
Or what you say.
Yeah.
Rainey taking off that beanie because it's getting hot out here. You know, I have a theory about guys the whole beanie thing also, but that's a smart move.
Well, we're getting to your beanie here, your beanie theory in a second. Let's check in again with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, I just got word that Brad McCurley's injury, it was not an injury to his knee, it was an injury to his hamstring. That's all I know at this time. He's still in the pits with AC Dallas, icing it, still on the ground, but I will bring you updates. We might not know what the injury actually is until after today is over, though.
That is way better news, though, than knee injury. I'll take a hamstring pull over another blown knee, and that could be the difference between another 6 months and 6 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on how bad the pull is, whether it tear. Depends on what it is.
Ask Kawhi Leonard how that hamstring does. It sucks because sometimes you get knee injuries. You know, other stuff ends up compensating for the knee injury, right? And then you have all sorts of crazy stuff that can happen. But a hamstring is no joke either.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
If you mess up a hamstring, you know, you could definitely be out for a while.
I'd just rather see that than a blown ACL.
100%.
Right. You know? But yes, you're right. I mean, no injury is good, but there are levels of severity here. And I mean, of course,
I'm not a doctor either.
I'm not a doctor either. So, but I feel for Brad. I mean, Brad was dominating over there. He's our kill count leader for the entire tournament. Was really helping AC Dallas on that D side of the field, and he comes off, and they end up losing, a relatively close game, 4-2 against Houston Heat.
Yeah, but it was tough. As soon as Brad went down, the whole momentum shifted. I mean, it was a tough one because they were winning. The way that they were winning every point throughout this entire event, they hadn't lost a match yet. You know, they were getting they got 40 kills out of Brad McCurley. You know, so obviously he's doing work over there on the Dorito side. So
yeah, that's huge.
Just setting the tone for them.
That is huge.
See there on your screen. So the Heat AC Dallas game is over, as we've been talking about. Heat in the finals, still Impact and Red Legion. Going to see if Impact can get back in this match, and then we'll have all the divisional finals.
Yeah, and look, these guys are getting tired. They're definitely getting tired. They're blowing a lot of their steam. Ooh, that Nick Laval that made it all the way into that 50 snake side right there.
Yeah, Nick Laval
almost lost his goggles.
Nick Laval did that in the first point of their last game yesterday, so they're pulling that out of the bag of tricks again, and he makes it in there clean. So that D side, Temple's really going to have to tighten things up here. And they did lose a body on this snake side. Impact down by 1. But
Dalton Vanderbilt into the Dorito 3 really quickly, and that's that pressure I was talking about. All guns looked at Nick Laval, and he was able to make that. Dalton was able to make a free move over there. And like I said, these guys they're getting tired. Oh, and Impact losing Justin Cornell out of the corner.
And then here comes Smotrov's going to run down Nick Laval. Misses him.
And Britnikov gets shot out. So
Unbelievable. Nick Laval staying alive through that. Smotrov trying to attempt the big run through. Maybe a little too big of a bite. Probably should have just stayed in his spot and try to burn some more of this time off. He's lucky also that he didn't pull that trigger a couple extra times.
So I believe it's a 3-on-3 right now. We have the Russians are in the back center of the tower on the Dorito side, and I believe Nick Laval can shoot the tower on the Dorito side if he looks in
Well, it's
infield.
Rabakov, Laval, and
Dalton.
Dalton now past the 50-yard line into that important spot you were talking about, the outside of this match here, Ryan. And Nick Laval really wants this one. He's wrapping around, pumping paint there at the last players. 3 bodies on your screen, but time is ticking off the clock. Impact needs 3 points. There's 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go, but the Red Legion are big time on their heels right now.
Yeah, and the move, well, it's hard to say, but the move kind of needs to have where the Dorito side tower needs to look inside. Yeah, like we're looking at a 3-on-3. Dalton's in the spot. Oh, and
Nick Laval getting that
Russians,
kill.
yeah.
3-on-2 now as Karslev walks out of the Dorito 1. Kirill's going to cross it up with Golev. Look towards Nick Laval over here in the snake. He's going to load up, try and cross it up. Laval's trying to wrap around the outside of Russian snake 2. Kirill's going to bail out of there, and he's going to get picked off, but he's going to trade out with Dalton Vanderbilt. So 2 bodies alive.
It's getting chirpy out there too a little bit. I hear Dave yelling at somebody. Yeah, Rainey as well.
Rainey is pumped right now. You never see Rainey get too fired up either.
No, Rainey was. No, this is Rainey's new thing then, because he got fired up in Europe, and that really helped Impact out.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I'm pretty sure he's just chirping at Golev.
He was. He definitely was chirping at him on the last point. So here's that momentum swing we talked about. And just to reiterate that, everybody that's listening out here, you might be down what seems like an unsurpassable amount of points. And it's 1 point till you have 1 foot in the grave essentially, but you just can't give up. And if you score a really long point, that's what the Russians don't like. And you're gonna see it when they're coming back out on the field right now. They actually might even take a timeout, because if you watch them the last 2 points, they're running in there, touching up with 1, 2, or 3 seconds left on that buzzer.
Maybe getting a little bit tired too. We're scoring it. We talked about how slow this field and how fast it can play, as well as we are heading into point 11 right now. And this match is brought to you by Empire Paintball and the Vanquish GT. You can see the colorways there on your screen: Desert Fire, Lead, Raider, and Acid, featuring the all-new V16 drivetrain with direct inject technology. Go to empirepaintball.com. But yeah, lots of points being scored out here as these are 2 aggressive teams. These Titans are just clashing again and again. Uprising. Red Legion went up so many points so fast, it forced Impact to now come with aggressive game plans themselves that have been working out. So it just goes to show you that the gas pedal has been working on this field, which I think is counter to what a lot of teams were bringing out here with more conservative traditional plays. Now, if you met another team that was thinking the same way, fine, but those teams that were playing tight and aggressive, especially today, particularly as the field has a little bit better than the sticky mud we saw yesterday.
Yeah, well, something that we took note of in the Dynasty game, as well as, what happened out here, was the fact that, all those points that they scored in a row all happened so fast. I mean, I think in the Dynasty game, there were 5 points went up, and there were still 11 minutes on the clock.
And we were saying the same thing to you guys.
There was still an opportunity. All you need to do is get that streak breaker, and, figure out what you need to do. And, that's kind of what Impact did here. I mean, and things were just looking terrible for Impact off the get with all those penalties that they were getting, flags left and right, chopped up on the break, but all it took was 1 on game point to get it and turn around, and now here they are coming back with a couple points in a row.
Right, and you see it right now. The Russians just took a timeout, and like I said, they were late to the box every single time. And while you might be getting out there, you don't want to be halfway to the start gate when the 10-second timer starts coming on, because now you're picking up the pace a little bit. There's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of variables that are going on that you have to remember to do. Shoot here, and you just don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, the 3 big reasons you throw timeouts: 1, you need to adjust your game plan or something's broken. 2, you need to rest. Or 3, slow the momentum of the other team down. So now they're going to get a little bit of a breather and maybe try to ice out this momentum that has shifted directly over to Impact's side as Impact's winning these close points here in winning the scramble and finally shooting bodies on the break of their own.
Well, that's the thing, is I think that the Russians, this fast-paced game plan they're doing, they're running out of steam. And Alex Frazier even said it. The Russians don't like to play long points. If you can draw out a long point, those guys get tired because they're running the same line every time. And it's hot out here. Back to that beanie theory that I was going to bring up. Take note of that.
So on the breakout here, it looks like the Russians, looks like Malloy's asking for a check, but the Russians initially able to live through the break unless Malloy gets shot. No, he's clean.
He's clean. And the Russians taking Dorito 2 off the break.
But Impact, and then now right into D3. So Karslev is just an aggressive machine on that D side. Whether or not he gets shot off the break, he's going right back out there and looking to go forward every single time. Good break for Impact, though. They have 5 alive as well. You can see there on your screen. as they try to get into D2. And then here goes Krill Perini. He's going to try to do tactical retreat to the back corner bunker. Malloy moves forward, insert bunker snake side. JC moves up behind Dalton.
Dalton Vanderbilt taking some aggressive moves over there, and it looks like Impact's.
Malloy got to be careful. Malloy getting through a stream, so a little bit of a big bite here from Malloy, but he makes it in clean. It looks like Zach Yakimek's the first body to drop for Impact. This is what Legion needed. They needed to slow this one down, live again through the break, shoot a body of their own.
And is that Rainey? Is that Rainey right there? Yeah, Rainey makes it into the snake insert bunker, but Malloy getting into the 50 snake right here. And this is going to be a tough one to break down after they lost their snake guys. Rainey either needs to stay alive over here and watch over that Dorito side, but the Russians don't need to move. There's 2 minutes on the clock. Rainey making a move down the highway. Ooh, and getting him, shooting him out. Huge move by Rainey Stanzak.
Yeah, and I don't think Smotroff knows that Rainey made that move, so Rainey Stanzak trying to blow this one open, and here comes the aggressive push by JC as well, too, as Dalton walks off, but here comes Krill Perini trying to do damage control, and he gets the drop on Justin Cornell, but Rainey's still alive. Smotroff trying to save this point here and trying to get an angle on Rainey Stanzak. Rainey's going to move up, and Smotroff gets hit in the loader, and that is going to do it. There's still one player left alive, though, as Golev is chalking up kills. And then here comes Rainey Stanzik, who was chirping at Golev before, comes up and shoots him from about 2 inches away. And Golev's going to turn around. You see Rainey telling Golev, yeah, it's coming. Another quick point here for, well, not necessarily a quick point, but just a point nonetheless. And we have ourselves a 1 point match, and this come from behind almost. Wow. Edmonton Impact, man, making it interesting again.
Man,
Rainey's brass is just clinking together right now. Just letting them swing.
That was such a huge move from Rainey because it was a big risk running up that center to try to. He was basically going to trade out with the 50. Like here it is, a replay right here. He runs up, and somehow he actually caught Malloy, which is uncharacteristic of Malloy, but he caught him right when he left. Malloy tried to wrap that tape right there, and that's when Rainey caught him. And
then there you saw Dalton come off, but here comes JC. He comes on the attack, but what a blow-for-blow game is your Kirill's about to come into the screen and take out JC.
And they trade right there.
He trades out, but here comes Rainey, and then Justin not seeing that Golev was still alive, but Golev goes to sleep on Rainey, who comes through and shoots him from just a couple feet away. And there it is from the other side. Look at that. Man, it's chest up right into the gun, and then Golev checks back off on that snake side. Had no idea that Rainey was going to be just a few inches from him.
Yeah, that was a Rainey just right there saved Impact's entire
two-pack,
event. 3-pack, 2 or 3. You know, and here's the other thing, which is crazy about Golev, is we didn't even know he was alive either, and we're in the booth right now. Now, granted,
because he was tucked down low, worried about that bounce shot as well.
Yeah, but what is he doing back there? He needs to get in the game, because if Malloy had blown out this entire side of the field and is down in the snake, who was supporting Malloy? How was Rainey able to run down the inside of the field with no pressure whatsoever?
Well, and because if Golev had gotten out wide,
Smotroff was still there.
Smotroff was still there. That's the thing.
It blows my mind what Golev was doing, because he wasn't looking Dorito.
Yeah, but then Smotroff got into the snake, so that's when he should have gone out behind him. But he would have had to worry about Rainey's gun. But regardless, yes. No, just trying to do that traditional. That's the standard Paintball 101 thing, right? Oh, we need to burn time off the clock. I'm just going to roll my gun down this side of the field. That's not working on this field layout.
And see, look, the Russians are late to get out to the box again. And he's going to get lined up with 1 second left.
Minute and 31 seconds to go here in this probably the most dramatic game that we have seen. Blow-for-blow battle back and forth as Keith Brown takes the snake off the break for Impact and trying to get out wide here. Smotroff does make it out to the back corner bunker to try to slow things down. And here comes the full-court press up the center of the field. Dalton and Rainey are pushing forward in the center. Nobody's have dropped yet. And Rainey is about to destroy the back of Kirill's head and his pack. And so Rainey continuing to just unabated, pushing up the field. Dalton with him as well. And Impact begging for a penalty, and they're going to get it here. And then Golev, so they've been begging for a penalty on Golev for a while, and that is not going to help the Russians. The Russians completely falling apart here as Impact on the attack.
Listen, the Russians are out of gas. They are completely gassed right now. That you can see them. You can't get out on the gate and have a successful point if you're running out there and lining up with 2 seconds before the game starts. They have 2 minutes right now. These guys need to get their stuff prepared and try to win this point. It's a tie game. Impact has just won 5 unanswered points.
You called it.
Hey, Impact goes up 6-1. 5 unanswered points to tie it up. And like we talked about, we were asking this out of your guys' team too, is like, look, keep the heart and the faith in there. No, if the team just did it to us in 5 minutes, and we have 5 minutes left too, then we can score 6 points in 5 minutes or 5 points. You can see the replay, but we saw this out of Rainey and France too. The emotional leader on the team, chirping at guys, going back in the pits, pumping guys up, trying to get emotional. You can see there's Keith Brown protecting that inside, letting Rainey get up there, and Golev coming off, and then they got that penalty on Golev that kind of crushed the line of the Russians, and Rainey getting there. So Rainey making a strong MVP performance out here in this particular match during this comeback. Also, Dalton's been in all these points too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dalton's playing great over there, and they have 2 offensive weapons. They're running with JC and Dalton. It looks like they've pulled Mouse off the field.
They pulled J-Rab off that side.
They pulled J-Rab off that side also, because you need 2 offensive guys running over there, and they actually put Keith Brown into the snake on that last point. It was a hard dive if you kind of watched it from our angle.
And Kirill still came hard through that Dorito side alley, came straight into that 50 brick, shot Keith out of the corner right away, and then was looking towards the snake side. But then right when he switched, I think maybe he switched because Karslev died, but he looks towards the Dorito side. That's when Rainey made his move. And normally Golev had been following up to protect Kirill, and that time he did not. He came back, and these last couple points, we haven't seen Golev get out of that back center, get out of this temple in the center where normally he'd be up there with Kirill.
I'm also noticing this too, and this is, I think, a little bit of fatigue and a little bit of that mental boost that you think that you have when you're up points. You have to treat each one of these points as a roulette spin. You know, you see that board up there and it tells you what just hit before. That has nothing to do with what's going to happen on that next spin of that wheel. Paintball is the same way. You have to go out with a fresh approach every time. So what I'm talking about is that I haven't seen the fierceness in the gunfights that we were seeing and that intensity from the Russians as they've had this lead, where you see that now in Impact. So it's tied up with under a minute to go. Are we going to go to overtime with 36 seconds left?
And the Russians run and shoot. Oh, JC losing Impact, losing their first body.
And
JC.
here comes the run through in the center, up and over the top of the bunker to get a shot on Keith. We have not seen that yet, and Golev might have taken a digger on his shoulder. He can't even pick up his gun, so Golev might be injured as he's clutching his shoulder. And here comes the run through in the center. 2 bodies going up there with Kirill, Peridny, and Malloy. It looks like it is 3 on 4 right now. The full court press now coming for the Russians as they're starting to get diced up. And then here comes Zach Yakomek, is going to try to steal this one at the last second. Does he have enough time? Everyone's begging for it in the pits for Impact, and Impact stealing the win at the very end. Zach Yakomek, if he is clean, as the referees are checking him out right now. He's got his arms up in the sky. He's going to keep him there. Hold on. They pull him back. And we're waiting for the thumbs up further. There it is, the thumbs up from the referee, and Impact. Zach Yakomek, the hero of this last point, staying alive, keeping the attack of the Russians pushing forward. Boys, my God, Edmonton Impact did it again.
Wow, that was a huge point. Major, they fell asleep, Major, by running up that center so heavy, and there's that pimple. He squeezed on one side, and he popped down the other side, ran right down there. I didn't see how Smotrov got shot with a snake, though. That was Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 4-on-3. Smotrov was over here. 2 guys coming down the middle. 1 guy coming down the Dorito side. And then all of a sudden, Smotrov died, and Zach Yakomek just took off running.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
And look, you know what you need to do every time when you're trying to win a point in under a minute is you got to have that. You got to have somebody to make sure you don't lose the point. Like, look, we're going to win this game. Okay, well, this is our plan. We're going to win this point. And, you know, this is huge with Oliver Lang on the team. Oliver's going to win it. And I just needed to make sure that one person on our team was ready to make sure that we weren't going to lose the points.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're basically saying you have to have one alive. That's your point. You got to keep that one body back there just in case. You can't have all 5 moving forward because you don't have that guy coming on the delay. Sometimes that's the guy that shoots everyone, or the guy where everyone's dead that can hit the buzzer. And that's what happened for the Russians. They lost all 5 of those bodies. They were on the attack here trying to win this because they got the early advantage with the kill from JC and the positional advantage. The big move from Golev. Golev diving over the mini wall. We haven't seen that move yet this entire tournament. Looked like he might have hurt his shoulder too when he got up. And then we saw Kirill and Malloy. Also, maybe a little mistake there is you do not want to come side by side on the attack in the same lane where you both can get shot by the same guy. Mm-hmm. And they were stacked up shoulder to shoulder pretty much. Right. They needed to stagger that attack a little bit. And you can see the 1,000-yard stares here from the guys on the Russians in the pits as they just let Edmonton Impact score 6 unanswered points to take the victory. At the start of this game, the Russians railed off a 6-1 advantage with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left-ish, right around that time. And then after that, Edmonton Impact completely changed their game plan and are forced to go forward. And this is the second time they've done this. This one would just happen to be probably the most miraculous comeback I've seen in recent memory in all of paintball. I've been doing this for 24 years, and I have never quite seen a comeback like that. And we're only in the semifinals. Houston Heat is going to be playing Edmonton Impact. Let's go down to Lauren.
Hey guys, I am here with Zach Yakimek. Oh my gosh, what an incredible match. That was the most dramatic comeback we have seen in a really long time. And things were getting really heated in your pits, frantic, trying to figure out how to adjust your play and how to get to those bunkers safe when they were just attacking so quickly. What kind of things were you noticing about the Russians that you were able to take advantage of?
They were relentless, and early in the game, we were reaching too far and trying to take too much ground. They were doing a great job of shooting off the break. So we shortened it up, played them 5-on-5. That seemed to be the key. And it was just that relentless back and forth. And then we finally just crept up on them and surprised them. And I think they reached too much in that last point. They should have had a guy waiting at the back, but that's what happens when you get greedy.
Crept up on them is a little bit of an understatement, I think. You guys had to fight really hard to get that win. Tell me what was running through your mind in that last second. I think everyone expected it to go to overtime.
Well, I knew kill one, and then I see 3 guys in front of me running down the field. I shoot them all. I hear kill the snake, and I knew there was nobody left. I wasn't certain if the snake was dead, but figured might as well take it. I looked up, there's about 12 seconds left, so that's enough time for these old bones to get there.
Well, Moscow Red Legion looked unbeatable at first, and you guys, Impact, managed to come back and beat them, which if anyone could, it would be you. You will be going against Heat for first and second again, which you just did in Europe. So talk to me a little bit about, you probably haven't moved on quite yet to figuring out how you guys are going to play that game, but you know, you two have played each other so much. What's it going to come down to in that finals match?
I'm glad we're playing them and not AC Dallas. I think AC Dallas would give us a better match, but Heat is just about slowing it down and outpacing them, actually having a slower pace than them and just outplaying them that way, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right, well, stay tuned. Impact versus Heat in the finals. It'll be good. Good job.
Game 2 minutes.